Alright, so out here we're going to play around with the Frankenstein F20. Last time I had it running, it was missing out pretty bad. So we're going to see if we can figure that out, see if it's just a plug wire or plug or what's going on. It's got pretty fresh tune-up on it. When I did the distributor upgrade, I made sure, put new plug wires on it. They're Packard 8mm wires, so they're not super cheapo. So see if we can figure out what's going on here. I'm just going to go ahead and change all the plugs, and we'll go from there. So hopefully I'll figure something out on it. Alright, so here we are. I've got 5 of them changed. You can see they're all super soot black, carboned up, which this tractor runs rich, but not that rich. This is what we're putting in it this time. Maybe. There it goes, the focused. R43S Delcos. These are J8C Champions. So if you look at this one versus this one, you can see that electrode protrudes out way farther. Like the thread depth is about the same and everything, but the Delco is a much hotter heat range. So I have a feeling that that Champion's just not the right plug for this engine. That certainly didn't help anything. I just punched it in as a 54 or 55 Chevy pickup, which is what I think the engine came out of. But I did find a couple different plug wires were a little loose on the cap. They popped loose a little bit, so I snapped all those down tighter. Like I said, we got all those plugs changed. So I think we found our problem. Hopefully, we'll see. We'll get her fired up here in a minute and find out. Hopefully it's got some gas in it. So bring you back in a second. Well, I forgot that how close this carburetor sits to this frame rail here with the choke linkage. In fact, you can't even use the choke. It hits the frame rail. You can't take the lower body off the carburetor. You got to take it off the intake, which I was about to do, but I went ahead and I got to the point where I had the bowl loose. Remembered that, obviously. And so I thought, well, I've jostled the float because I could see the float and the needle looked like they're moving. So I put it back on, and sure enough, now it's not leaking. So we're in good shape now. So let's see if she'll fire up now. And the throttle stuck again. Imagine that. There we go. Okay, so you can see we've got oil pressure now. Once this motor warms up, it loses most of its oil pressure. That's due to the fact that the oil lines for the oil filter are routed wrong, and it's just dumping oil back into the valve cover. It's something that I need to fix, but it's been like this for 60, 70 years at this point. Not 60 years, 50 years like this. So if it was going to blow up, it probably would have done it already. But, it is what it is. Alright, so unfortunately we still got our miss. And so the rear pipe is smoking a little bit. So I figure it's probably in this rear three cylinders, I should say. So I pulled our plug wires off one at a time until I found that I would say it's kind of hard to hear, but I would say it's these two are not firing or not firing every time. So I'm going to pull the valve cover and see if we got some valve stuck or what's going on. That is the one that doesn't have a rain cap on it. But I always put a bucket over that pipe. So I've always figured it was covered good, but you never know. I might have not done it one time, or who knows what, got some rust on the valve seats or something. But this motor always had good compression. First time I got it, I thought, well, it's got no oil pressure when it's hot. You know, maybe it's just really tired. So I did compression check on it. I don't remember what it was, but it was really consistent. It was over 100 pounds on each cylinder. I mean, I know these things are really low compression to start with, so I didn't pay that any mind. I figured it was pretty healthy for a 235 anyway. You know, I'd consider 100 pounds even on every cylinder a good deal, so I don't know. But I've never had the valve cover off, so we're going to find out what's going on here. Well, these valve cover bolts are not bolts, they're straight head screws, which I thought could be a problem. Sure enough, they're being contrary. So I went and got this. This is I don't know what you'd call it exactly. I don't know what I call it, like an impact screwdriver. You just tap on it lightly, and you tap it with a hammer, press it, which hits it down, and it turns it and loosens it up, and they popped right loose with that. So they who knows how long they've been off. Somebody has smashed the ever living daylights out of this valve cover, just cranked those down. So when we get it off, we'll probably have to straighten the valve cover up a little bit to get it to seal up good. But I've got a thick cork gasket for it, so that should seal her up. All right, we got her loose. Yeah, look how mutilated that valve cover is. Let's see if you can get it. Yeah, there it is. See that? All 4 screws are that way. So, okie dokie. Let me see what I can find while I'm under here.